Hi. Hi, guys. Can you all see me? Yay, I think it's working. If you guys see, there's like something in the corner of the screen. It's my cat nudging my laptop. So if you see like a fuzzy gray ear, sorry about that. He turned off my monitor. Okay, let's get this cat over here. Oh, hi. Say hi to everyone in the live stream. Oh, wow, so many of you. Hi, guys. Let's see, we have Viviana, Clarice, Brooke, Roxanne, Hannah, May, Niloxy, and Crystal. Hi, guys. Welcome. Crystal says, did YouTube change for you guys too? Yes. I think YouTube has like a new layout now. I really like it. It's very clean. But yeah, I noticed like 2 days ago that it looks very different. But yeah. Oh, yay, so many people. Oh, also there's a slight delay, so about maybe 10 seconds or less, like 5 or 10 seconds. So if I sound like I'm reacting to your questions really slowly, it's because of the delay or because I might be slow at reading. Hello, guy. Oh, hi, Tracy. Welcome. Yay, this is awesome. Niloxy, what is your actual name so I don't call you Niloxy the whole time? Yeah. Let's see, how many people do we have watching? How's everyone been? Is anyone right now still like in school or college? Are you guys back to school now? How was your summer? Oh, Naloxi's name is, oh, Chanel. Okay, wow. Your name is so pretty, Chanel. Okay, we have about 19 people here. I'm gonna wait maybe 1 more minute before I start the content portion of the live stream. Yeah. Okay. May says back to university. Oh yeah, Clarice, you live in South America, so it's winter. May, what year of university are you going to? Man, I miss college, and I also don't miss college because I miss how easy it was to see all your friends because everyone like is taking the same classes and lives really close to one another. But I really don't miss the stress of like finals and project deadlines and things like that. So Crystal says, I'm starting school after taking time off to be a mom, getting storms from the hurricane. Oh, I hope you and your family are safe and dry, Crystal. But wow, that's really cool. You're going back to school as a mom. My mom also went to school. She went to grad school while I was like growing up. So she had to raise me, I mean, with the help of my dad. But yeah, she was a student while I was a student. So that was pretty fun. Allison, welcome, says, his first day of school was today. I'm only excited for fine arts. Yeah, that was like my only class that I liked in school as well. Every other class was just boring, I guess. I kind of liked math class too. I always liked math. It was interesting to me, but it was, yeah, only art and math that I actually enjoyed. And I think I also liked French class because my best friend in high school sat next to me and we'd always just like talk. Oh wow, so many of you are in school. Oh, May, you're going to school in Russia. That is so cool. No pun intended. University in Germany for Hannah doesn't start until October. Oh, that's pretty nice. Chanel says you're writing thesis. Oh yeah, that's pretty stressful. Man, okay. It's been a few minutes, so I'm gonna get started with the content portion instead of just boring you guys with my talking. So first things first, I was going to show you guys a few pieces that I recently finished and I haven't shared yet. So Juan, you're going to have to get off my lap. I'm sorry. Okay, hi. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what I worked on yesterday. Let me just grab it real quick. Okay, so this first piece, oh, it's still semi-wet. I am doing this for one of my oil painting reward patrons who pledged the oil painting reward tier last month. So I still need to do one more layer. I don't know if you can tell, but up close the leaves are really rough, and yeah, they're just little details I want to add just to perfect it. But I'm trying something out, something different with this one. It's like obviously not just a regular girl. She's like part flower, part girl. I wasn't really sure where to go with this. This is one of the few pieces where it ended up looking very different from my concept sketch. I was gonna have her actually in like an open flower meadow, but I got kind of sick of doing it. I realized I was doing a lot of like open spaces and I wanted something more cozy. So I did, I guess, this version, which has like a kind of secluded forest feel to it. And I'm gonna try to make some more foreground elements and make the leaves actually like overlap her body. So hopefully it'll look more interesting. But yeah, it's something a little bit different. I'm trying to just like experiment with different concepts instead of doing my usual like girl shoulder up kind of portrait. So yeah, I'm starting to really like it, and hopefully my goal is to finish it tomorrow. So once this layer has enough time to dry, I will finish it. Okay, next piece. You guys probably saw this on Instagram already, but it's the this moth is called Rosy Maple Moth. So I'm not really sure what to title this piece yet. I'm thinking of just calling her Rosie since it's the name of the moth. But again, it's like it's trying to do something, or not it. I just called myself it. I'm trying to do something a little bit different than usual, but this one is still more faithful to kind of my usual style, which is just like a cute doll face girl with moths. But I try to do more of like a close-up zoomed in view instead of always doing like a shoulder shot, because I really wanted to paint a giant moth and just get all the details on it. So I'm gonna zoom close so you guys can see the details. But yeah, I had a lot of fun painting all the little veins and the little hairs on the wings, and also this girl is albino. I honestly, like, this face I mostly made up from my imagination because I wanted to paint a girl who looks like my dog Molly, who is albino. So yeah, she's an albino girl, and she doesn't look that different from my progress picture on Instagram. I think I'm gonna leave it simple and clean. I don't want anything distracting away from the two subjects. So I think I'm gonna call this one finished, and this one's also for one of my patrons who pledged the oil painting reward tier. But yeah, I did a very subtle glaze in pink to just kind of unify the colors a little bit. So the pink from the wing, I did a glaze of it over the cheeks and a little bit on the hair. So maybe you guys can tell. But yeah. Oh, and sorry if you hear hammering and noises. There's people doing construction outside, so it's really annoying. I'm really sorry. Okay, I'm gonna put these back, and we can get started with today's demo. Okay, so I thought today, oh, let me catch up on some comments before I start. We got, oh, thank you guys, are so sweet. A lot of you guys are familiar with my dog Molly. That's really sweet. Thank you guys for all your compliments. Some of you mentioned the skin looks really nice. I actually, so first of all, thank you so much. I have been trying to improve my skin rendering skills. And what I found recently that worked is actually using less medium. So I don't know if this tip will help you guys. Hopefully it will, because I know every painting is different, but using less medium for me has made it easier for me to make the skin smooth. I think mediums tend to give your brush strokes a more like stroke type of texture. And when I just use like a dry brush with oil paint directly and I apply like almost rough, thin layers with the brush, it tends to smooth it out better. So that was a trick I recently discovered. But yeah, hopefully it works for more than just one style of painting. Oh, my dog is trying to get inside. Mushroom! Mushroom! Let me take Mushroom inside so you guys can see her. Come here. Mushroom, come say hi. She just wants to go into her bed. Okay. Sorry, I know I was going to start painting, but I want to show you guys my dog. Hi, say hi to the camera, Mushroom. Mushroom is really affectionate and she loves to be pet, but she's really like rigid when you try to hold her. She's like very stiff. And that's the difference between cats and dogs. Like cats are very flexible and their bodies are like water or memory foam. Like it's almost like they don't have bones, but dogs are very stiff. Oh, cutie. Okay, Mushroom, I'll let you get back to playing so I can get back to painting. But thank you for stopping by and saying hi to everyone. Okay, bye. Alrighty, baby. Okay, so today I thought I would do a piece. I actually don't know what to paint, so I would love if you guys give me some suggestions, but I'm going to try to keep it simple because I want to actually make good progress on it. But I have these little 5x5 gesso boards that I think these came free because I bought a lot of bigger pieces of gesso board and they had a promotion, so they included these small ones for free. They're 5x5 inches, so they're very tiny and they're square. It's not like a surface I'm used to working with, but I'm thinking I could paint something simple today. I'm gonna paint flat on my desk so that my camera can point at it better, and I'm open to taking your suggestions. So if you guys have any suggestions on what I should paint, feel free to shout them out in the chat box, and I'd love to see it. Whew. And while you guys are shooting me suggestions, I'm going to show you guys another neat trick. So this is the back of a frame that I purchased, I think from Michael's. I'm not really sure. I have like a huge collection of frames I buy from all over the place. But basically, it was the back of a really big frame. I think it was maybe 16 by 20. And because I mostly frame oil paintings, I don't keep the backing of the original frame. What I do is like I take all the stuff out and I just have this open wood frame, and then I take it to Michael's to have them install the backing for me professionally. So I'm always left with these kind of big stiff boards, and they're actually quite useful for putting underneath your painting if you want to paint on your desk so that you don't get your desk dirty or stained. So I'm going to do that today. And also like the wood texture serves as a great backdrop if you want to film time lapses. So yeah, I'm just gonna slide this on my desk here. Oh, I'm running out of space. Okay, let me just slide it under my laptop here. There we go. Okay, I have to move my camera back a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't fall over. Okay. All right, guys, I don't know why I'm talking in a British accent right now. A really terrible British accent. Okay, so here are some suggestions. I'm going to read them off that you guys gave me. Can you paint a girl with your red Chinese gold theme? Good suggestion. I've never actually painted the red and gold. That's a really good one. And that's really simple. So I think I could actually make enough progress on it today. Do you ever paint ladybugs in Skittles colors? That's a really good idea. I'm actually wanting to start a series of cat paintings in Skittles colors, or just like neon, unnatural colors. A large sunflower, really good suggestion. Dragonflies in a water landscape. A moth with flowers growing out of the wings. Ooh, wow, they're all really good suggestions. Dang, I have to pick one. Let's see. I think I might try to do the girl with the gold theme. That seems like fairly simple, and I could do like a close-up just because I don't really have, since I don't have reference, I'm gonna have to paint something I'm kind of comfortable with, and lately I've been more comfortable with painting faces. So hopefully I can create a face from my imagination, but yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Or maybe I should just quickly pull up a reference. Or I can just look at the screen and paint myself if I really need some anatomy help. Yeah. Woo! Oh yeah, also another trick. So I'm opening up this tape. When you, here, let me just actually point the camera down while I explain. When you paint flat on a flat surface, it's really hard to keep your board or your canvas from sliding, so you have to tape it down. There we go. Can you guys see it? Oh, okay. Hopefully that doesn't look too weird. I have to, so this is the legs of my tripod, in case you guys are wondering, like, why does this look so weird? Let me actually also try to extend this a little bit. Okay. Hopefully this works. Oh, there goes that British accent again. I'm so sorry, guys. Oh no. Okay. There you go. Now we are a little bit closer to the actual board. Oh, how do I do this? Okay, there we go. Sorry guys, I'm always so bad with positioning my tripod. I don't know why it's so hard for me. Okay, there we go. This will do. Okay, there we go. That's better. So once you find out a place you want to put it, I just take some tape. This is just normal like shipping tape that you can get from, like, I don't know, Target or something. And instead of taping it on the edges, I just tape the back to the board. And I'll show you guys what I mean as soon as I open up this new pack of tape. Come on, tape. So uncooperative. Okay. So you just take, here's a scrap. Okay. Take a little bit, like, sorry for the loudness. And then I just roll it up like this into a ring. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's like a tape ring. And then I just plop it on the back like this. And after that, I just kind of tape it. Let me find a good spot for you guys. Okay, here's good. Okay, and then I just kind of like press it down, and that way, see, it doesn't really wiggle. You can kind of like, it'll withstand the pressure of your brush stroke. So, okay, let us begin. I also have this old palette that I'm gonna use. I can show you guys real quick. It's just really messy. What I do with palettes is I don't really have good palette etiquette. A lot of fine artists that you see in like art academies, they actually clean their palette and redo it for every single painting, every single sitting, sorry. So every single day when they start painting for that day, they clean their palette and put new colors on. I just kind of pile all the colors onto my old palette, so it looks really disgusting. But it will do for the time being. And I have this old glove that I reuse as well. Okay, so. And while I'm painting, feel free, for those of you who are here for the first time, feel free to ask me any questions you have about like art or life or careers or techniques. You know, this is a very open forum, so you guys feel free to ask me whatever you want, and I'd be happy to answer them. So every few minutes or so, I'm gonna glance up at the screen to see if you guys wrote me any questions, and then I'll answer them as I paint. Oh, yay, we got some new people joining us. Hello, Haley and Jeanette. Oh, pretty name. Welcome, guys. Or ladies, not guys. Okay. So with all pieces, I like to begin with a underpainting. So I'm just gonna roughly do a quick underpainting. I'm using this brush from Royal and Langnickel. It's the Pure Red Sable, size for Filbert. Okay, so I'm just gonna start off with some gray. Oh yeah. I think I showed you guys this last time, but for those of you who are joining me today, my favorite gray is this one. It's Portland Gray Light, and it's super, super, I mean, just perfect. It's like a perfect light shade of gray. You guys will see it when I put it down the board. It's great for underpaintings because it doesn't really get in the way, but it's dark enough for you to actually see the painting. Okay, so girl with red and gold. How can I maybe like, oh my, this is, it always takes a lot of courage to put down the first like paint stroke. Okay, we're gonna do a 3/4 view. Oh yeah, and then a lot of you guys before have asked me how I transfer my sketches onto canvases. So half the time, or not half, a very small fraction of the time, I'll transfer it directly from the sketch. So I'll just put a piece of tracer paper behind the piece, or behind the sketch, and then redraw the lines of the sketch, and then that transfers it via the transfer paper. But okay, also transfer paper is basically like a sheet of paper made completely out of graphite. And it's kind of like, you know, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but like when you write checks in your checkbook and you have like a carbon copy, it's kind of like that, but with graphite. But most of the time, like I do now, I just like to sketch directly onto the gesso board, and it sorry if you guys hear my stomach rumbling. I don't know why my stomach's rumbling. I haven't eaten yet today. I'm super hungry. Sorry, getting distracted. But yeah, most of the time I just like to sketch loosely onto the canvas or the gesso board itself. I don't know why. I think it just feels more free, and it helps hone my free sketching skills. So yeah, that's what I enjoy. Maybe I'll keep the hair simple. Let's see. I won't do an ear because ears take too long to paint. I really want to paint something that you guys can see almost not like a finished result, but a near finished result today. Okay, so we've changed the hairstyle. It's just going to be long black hair. And a gesso board is a really smooth texture, as you guys can tell, which is one of my favorite attributes that it has, because it doesn't give a grainy canvas texture and doesn't give a wood grain texture either. So your piece almost looks like digital because it's so smooth. Okay, so this is my rough outline of the composition. I'm gonna just kind of do the facial proportions. So the way I do faces is, well, my proportions are not exactly anatomically correct or anatomically accurate, because I like to do kind of doll faces. But so my girls tend to have eyes that are wider apart and really tall foreheads. They're called 5 heads because instead of a 4-head, it's a 5-head because they're extra long. Haha, I know, so funny. Okay, so roughly sketch out the eyes, eyebrows. And this is all subject to change, of course, as I refine the piece more. Nose, mouth, okay. Rough starting point. Okay, I'm gonna quickly read some of your questions that I have missed in the last few minutes and see what you guys are asking. We have, okay, gonna read from the first one down. Jeanette asked, do you always use a glove when painting? If not, when and why? And Tracy asks, happy your art has grown by leaps and bounds lately. What do you attribute that to? Can I ask? Oh, that's so sweet. And then Tayrun asks, happy, do you ever get new painting anxiety? I feel so scared every time I begin a painting, but once I'm a couple of layers in, I tend to loosen up a bit. How do you cope with that? Okay, so I'm just gonna do like 3 at a time so I don't forget, because I don't think my brain is capable of storing more than 3 at a time. But I think, so in regards to the first question, I started wearing gloves because I read somewhere that they help protect your skin against the toxins of oils. But then doing more research, I actually read that oils are not super toxic nowadays. Like old oils or cheap oils might be, but like stuff like Gamblin is quite safe. However, you know, like when you have mixed research or mixed opinions, it's always good to err on the side of caution. So that's why lately I have been wearing gloves more, just to be cautious. And also, the number one major reason is actually not for health. It's mostly for, oh, sorry guys, I'm just grabbing some yellow ochre. This is actually an old tub of oil paint from like years ago that I bought. It's like a student level. It's from the Blick student grade. It's actually quite affordable. So if you guys are looking for affordable options, Blick, which is like an art supply store, they have a really good in-house brand that's very affordable. Anyways, okay, back to the question. It was because my cuticles were drying out. I had really messy cuticles for a while, and because I wasn't wearing gloves and I just got a lot of oil paint on them all the time. So that's maybe that's a crappy reason, like, oh, instead of safety, I care about like my nail beds. But yeah, I found that wearing gloves definitely saves my nails from all the abuse that I put them through, and my cuticles are back to normal again. Whoa, and this color is way too yellow. So I'm gonna mix in a little bit of the gray to dilute it a bit. But yeah, okay. And then the next question, oh, sorry. And then when do I not wear gloves? Lately, I always wear gloves. So yeah, recently, just to err on the side of safety, I always wear gloves. The next question was about how I have, let's see, oh, sorry guys, I'm so bad remembering stuff. Oh, growing leaps and bounds. Okay, so Tracy says, what do I attribute my artistic growth to? I honestly don't know, and it's really sweet of you for noticing or thinking that my art has grown lately, because sometimes I'm just like, oh, you know, I get so bored of what I paint, or I get bad art days where I feel uninspired and I don't really have a lot of confidence in myself, or if I Juan, shush. Sorry, my cat's meowing. Stop it. Sorry, you guys. He meows when he wants food, but it's not his dinner time yet. He doesn't get fed for another hour. But yeah, I think I go through phases where if I work on a bad painting, I tend to lose confidence for future paintings. But lately, I guess I've been on a good streak where I haven't really had any bad paintings or bad art days. And also because I've been working on a lot of commissions lately, and I feel like the pressure to make something look really good for a client also is a good type of pressure to make sure that my quality is continuing to be, you know, at a high level, and you know, I create pieces that are kind of at the utmost effort and the utmost thought put into them, because I'm doing them for someone else and I want to make sure that clients are happy. So maybe that's why I like the commissions. But yeah, honestly, sometimes you just get lucky and you have a good month and you're able to, you know, paint stuff really well and able to fulfill all of your creative visions. And then sometimes you have a really bad month where, you know, things don't go your way. So it really depends. Okay, sorry, my cat is just being so rowdy and making noises. And then the next question about new painting anxiety. Yes, I definitely feel new painting anxiety a lot of the time. It's I can't really explain it. It's like whenever you look at a blank canvas, your mind, or at least when I say your, I mean my mind, just kind of races. Like whenever I sit down and I just see nothing but this white canvas in front of me, I'm like overwhelmed with how many thoughts are racing through my mind and all the possibilities of how the painting could go, how it could go wrong, and also like getting excited and hyped for, you know, what could go right. And also the number one thing that makes me nervous is like all the work and the hours that I have to put in to transform that blank white canvas into a complete painting with all the little details. Like thinking about just how long I'm going to be sitting at the easel working on it, like that gets me really nervous and both excited and scared, I guess. But dealing with new painting anxiety, you just have to like take a breath and force yourself to get through it. But one good technique is to just cover up as much of your canvas as possible. And like, I think having empty space makes me feel more anxious. So when I am able to cover up the canvas, then I feel like some sense of satisfaction or some sense of completeness within the piece, even if it's covering up the canvas with very rough, like blocking colors, like kind of what I did right now, like just covering it with this plain yellow and this light gray. Obviously I'm gonna refine it more in the future, and I might even change my mind and decide not to have the same shade of yellow. But just getting something down on paper helps me get started off on the right foot and helps me kind of loosen up and feel not as nervous because, I've kind of made more progress. But yeah, that new painting feeling is definitely real. So yeah, right now I'm just gonna explain what I'm doing. I basically like to go in and mark all of the darkest parts of the piece first, so that I have almost like a reference point or like a visual anchor of how the rest of the piece should go. So not all artists work this way. I know a lot of artists do like the skin first and they get all the skin all smooth before they refine the darker features, but everyone has different style, which is awesome. That's why our pieces look unique and different. But yeah, my style is to go in with like the darkest lines or darkest points first. It's also a great way to measure out like the composition because I'm able to use it as a guideline for all the features and things like that. So yeah, I'm just gonna quickly finish up these brows. And yeah, they're definitely gonna get a better brow treatment soon. I just wanna kind of get a reference. And as you can see, like the face is kind of spilling out to where I drew the line, which is totally fine because I'm going to refine that and kind of sculpt the face more so that the features don't, fall out of the face. Same the neck. The neck needs to get moved forward a little bit. There we go. Okay, and side of the face. Go. Yeah, it's always nice to work with oils, for me at least, because the paint stays wet for so long, so I can really correct my mistakes and tweak things and, kind of finesse them without having to deal with paint that's already been dried or having to, paint over something that's really dark and not having the coverage and things like that. So with oils, it's easier when you make mistakes. Okay, I'm going to answer a few more questions as I refine this. Next question. Clarice Perello, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Clarice says, what are your thoughts on abstract art and collage? And I also have another question from, oh, sorry, someone says that my mic, sorry, is my microphone, is my microphone okay now? Can you guys hear me? Weird. Let me know if the audio still is patchy, but I think it's Are you guys able to hear me better? Or is it still robotic? I don't know why. Let me try to move the microphone over to a different spot. Is it better now? Okay, I'm gonna try unplugging it. Okay, how about now? Okay, let me try. Sorry, guys. What? Microphone. Okay, let me. I don't know why it's not working now. What if? Oh, I saw no. Oops, I just changed the camera. Wrong. Okay, is it better now? Is it? How is it now, guys? Much better? Still the same? Okay, some people are saying much better, some people are still the same. Okay, I'm gonna switch the microphone to my Okay, is this microphone better? Can you guys hear me now? So sorry about that, you guys. Okay, yay, awesome. I basically turned off my my fancy microphone and I'm using my computer's microphone now. Interesting. My blue snowball, which is the microphone I use for like my voiceovers and stuff, it's supposed to be reliable, but oh well. Anyways, glad to be back. So sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna extend the live stream by like 5 or 10 minutes to make up for the lost time. I'm really sorry. Um, let's see. Okay, more questions before my microphone decided to mess up. Um, let's see. Oh wow, so many. Okay, sorry, I'm scrolling back up. Naomi asks, when you made your alien fairy girl, how did you paint the skin? When I try to make really cool skin tones, they always end up too blue. Do you have any tips for making these unrealistic skin tones? Yes. So speaking of Gamblin, I actually really love the Gamblin Gray, Portland Gray, because I use it to dilute all of my blues and pinks. And I noticed when I first started experimenting with that skin tone that everything looked too blue when I first laid it down. So moving forward, I made sure to dilute all of my blue paint and pink paint with lots of green. So if you want a darker shade of blue, you can use a darker shade of gray. You know, obviously you can make your own grays. If you don't want to buy gray paint, you can just mix white and black. And with the lighter blues, I use like the Portland gray. And also I think the ratio is important. You actually need a lot of gray to handle all those blues. I end up using like half, like pretty much 1-to-1 ratio. So one portion of colorful paint and then one portion of gray paint. So that's kind of what kept me able to tone those saturated colors down. Saruta asks, what are your favorite things to paint, and in what ways do you like branching out? So obviously I love painting women, but I also love to try to incorporate, like lately I've been loving to paint like leaves and foliage and nature, trees and flowers and leaves. Mostly leaves. Leaves are so magical because you can almost just dab your paintbrush onto your canvas and it'll slowly take form. The way I paint leaves, you know, I learned from Bob Ross, is you just start off with kind of the darker shades first, and then you use like a very fine brush or a very coarse brush to dab in highlights, and that brings out like that leaf looking form, which to me is just so satisfying to paint. So yeah, leaves are one of them that I just lately been obsessed with. And also, let me think. Oh, cats, moths, and I think I like to paint cats, moths, what else? Oh, moon, crescent moons lately. I don't know why I love painting crescent moons. But yeah, branching out. What ways do I like to branch out? I think the minor ways I like to branch out is just by trying different skin tones, like small tweaks. But the big ways I like to branch out is to paint something completely different altogether, almost as like a personal challenge. A lot of times these pieces I don't show, or I don't have time to really flesh out. Like I'll think of an idea that I want to try, but I don't actually have the time to you know, work on a piece long enough to see how it looks, because I always get boggled down with deadlines and stuff. But when I do branch out in a dramatic way, like lately I've been toying with the idea of doing a purely landscape piece with no human subject inside of it, but just like an eerie, surreal landscape, and seeing what I can do with my style and my storytelling without having a human subject to rely on. So that's something I've been thinking about. Also would love to paint more cats. I know that's not a huge derailing of my usual preferences, because I have painted a lot of cats before, but I've been thinking of doing a series of cat paintings and using the profits from like prints or the originals to help donate to like an animal charity, because you know I'm a cat lover, dog lover, and I adopted all of my pets. So I've been thinking about fun ways to do like a fundraising for domestic animals and pets. So yeah, these are some of the ways I want to branch out. Veronica says, have you tried the cream art guard? It protects our hands while painting, like a glove, but without a glove. And it protects my skin, and so it doesn't dry out. Oh, That's interesting. I have heard of things like that. It's almost like a lotion you put on your hand, but I never tried it. But I totally be open to picking some up next time I'm at the art store to see how it works. Yeah, I really don't love gloves, to be honest. They feel really like sweaty on your hands. And they're just kind of a pain to take on and off. So I will definitely give that art guard a try. Thank you so much for your suggestion. Saruta says, "What do you do when you get bored of painting?" It's hard to say because, to be honest, I don't really feel bored of painting that much. I mean, there are times when like I'm exhausted, so not necessarily bored, but just really physically exhausted because painting is a very big like physical endeavor. Especially if you paint at an easel or paint a large piece, it's really a lot of strain on your eyes, your wrists, your back. And sometimes, like if I go to the gym and I do my arms, like do arm workouts, the next day it's really hard to pick up a brush. Like my hand is pretty much shaking. But the ways to combat it, if you're bored or tired of painting, I just like to space out all of my tasks. So if I'm having a day where I don't want to paint, I'll just do video editing that day, or I'll do drawing that day, or I'll do print shipping that day. And then if I get sick of video editing, then I switch off and I go back to painting. So it's really good to kind of switch things up every once in a while to keep yourself fresh. Next question from Stephanie. She says, "Do you have too many ideas that you wind up just not doing any?" Oh, do you ever have too many ideas that you wind up just not doing anything? Yes. That happens to me a lot. It's not really like I don't wind up doing anything, but it's just that I don't give e- each idea enough time, and I end up kind of falling back to my safe, my comfort zone. Particularly kind of just bouncing off of the previous question about branching out. I always have these grand ideas of how I'm going to branch out and paint something different, and then I get so overwhelmed with all these new ideas that I just fall back to painting the usual thing. Which honestly I don't think is bad. And I just want to say this: I don't ever want to influence someone to not paint what they want to paint, or to paint something that's similar or consistent with their usual style. If you look at a lot of the really successful artists out there, let's say Audrey Kawasaki, for example, she always paints these like kind of eerie, sexy, anime looking type of women, and the things that she switches up are like the backgrounds or maybe like the colors, the aesthetic, but she always paints kind of the same girl over and over again. It's like that's her muse. And that's a huge reason why I think she's successful, is because people she has a very consistent brand, and people know exactly what they're going to get when they buy her art or go to her gallery show. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't want my comments about branching out to make anyone feel like you have to branch out all the time. It's okay to just slightly tweak your style and your preferences, and gradually have it evolve slowly instead of trying to do something different with every single piece. But yeah, I definitely do um, end up not branching out as much as I would like, because I get overwhelmed with too many ideas. And the way that I combat it is to just do so two ways. One is like to do a small study. So either a drawing or a small painting is a good way to experiment with like a new idea without too much pressure to finish it or to do a perfect job. And then if it looks bad, and you don't like it, you haven't invested that much time into working on it. And then another way is to do a drawing. So I feel like drawings for me tend to take less time than paintings, especially if I keep it like a concept sketch. Obviously, if I try to do a really fancy drawing, it might take me longer than a painting. But doing a slightly more well-rendered concept sketch will help me get an idea of how to, or sorry, help me get a feel of how to render that idea. And yeah, hopefully these help. Sorry, guys, I'm like rambling. Um, let's see. Oh, Naomi has to go. Oh, sorry, Naomi, but I hope you have a good sleep, and hopefully my answer to your question was useful. Let's see. New questions. Cordelia asks, do you think oil paint is much better than acrylic? If so, why? I'm an acrylic painter, but watching you makes me want to switch. So I don't think that I particularly like I don't have a strong opinion of like, oh my God, oils are so much better than acrylics. Like I think whatever medium you're comfortable with and whatever medium you can master, that's what really matters. It's not really about one medium is superior to another one by nature. Like I've been to gallery shows where I thought a piece was done in oils, but it was actually acrylic because the artist did such a good job making the layers smooth and the blending was so flawless. Um, but I think for me personally, the reason why I prefer oils, many reasons. A huge one is that I do think there's a great benefit for improvisation and for fixing your mistakes. And it is easier to blend because blending something that feels like butter, for example, is a lot easier to me than blending something that's a little bit that dries, faster. But again, like everyone has different preferences. So that's not to say that like oils are easier for me, therefore they're going to be easier for everyone else. But yeah, just personally, I've had an easier time dealing with oils. And I did do acrylics for a while, not for a super long time, but I did a few, maybe like 5 or 6 acrylic pieces before I switched to oils. And for me, when I switched to oils, it just felt so much more satisfying. It was pretty much like spreading butter on a slice of toast. I know I keep using the butter analogy, but seriously, when you get the oil paint consistency right, it just feels like butter. Um, but yeah, I think also oils for me, for my style at least, they tend to give off a better overall effect. The kind of luminosity and depth and smoothness, it fits in with my art style a lot more. And I feel like, depending on your style, like your art style could be totally different. You could actually do a lot more, I don't know, like let's say clean, simple lines, in which case maybe then acrylics might be a better fit. So yeah, it's really tough to say which one's better, but yeah, I personally prefer oils. Okay, so right now I'm just trying to do some shadows. I'm using a darker gray. It's called Torrid Gray. It's also from Gamblin. It's basically all of their leftover colors that they don't use throughout the year, and they mix it together to make like this gray. So it changes every year. And I have the Torrid Gray from 2015, I believe, and I'm still using it. It's really fun. Oh my gosh, the construction is so annoying. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm gonna scroll to see another question. Okay. Whoop. Haley asks, what's your dream project as an artist? Ooh, that's a good one. I never even thought about like my dream project. Obviously, I think ideally to just be able to paint whatever I want and paint things that I like and make me happy and have enough people that want to support it and buy it and have that, be able to kind of sustain my career. I think that's probably every artist's dream, is to be able to paint what you love and be able to make enough money to continue doing what you love. But I think in terms of like if I had a project from like a client, for example, like if I was hired to do something for another company, man, I'd have to think about that. I would love to, maybe something with like Disney or Pixar would be really cool because that's kind of been like a childhood dream of mine. So that would be like nice to see that like actually happen in real life. Or yeah, maybe like to do a painting, like a promotional poster or a painting for an upcoming Disney or Pixar movie that happens to also be in the aesthetic that I enjoy. That could be really cool. Um one can only dream, right? Um what else? It would also be cool to like do some fashion stuff. I know like one of my favorite artists, James Jean, he did a line for Prada. So they used like his illustrations and his paintings, and they turned them into patterns for their clothing. I just think it looks really cool. Obviously, I'm not as nearly at James Jean level, but it would be cool to challenge myself because that would be something very different that I've never done before. So that would be a dream project as well. Um, okay, next question. Oh, sorry, Clarice. I'm so sorry. I accidentally skipped your question. Okay, multitasking is so tough. I'm really sorry, guys. If I skipped your question, feel free to remind me again. But Clarice asked me, what are my thoughts on abstract art and collage? So I personally don't like making abstract art, but that's not to say that I don't enjoy it. I think abstract art can look really beautiful in homes, like to be hung up. Um, especially if you have like a modern house, and it just really makes the space feel very interesting, very open. So I do enjoy abstract art in that sense, but I never really enjoyed making abstract art. I've tried before, and for me, it's like because there's no rules to follow with abstract art, like you can literally put anything you want on your canvas at any time, it actually makes me feel a little bit more stressed out and lost. And I think I do better with portraits and paintings of things that are slightly more realistic, even though the themes are surreal, um, because those kind of give me guidelines on how something should look, or am I doing a good job? Like, does this tree look enough like a tree? Like, those little guidelines really help, and I respond well to them. So abstract art and collage, I don't think I'd be very good at making, but I would love to consume them. Let's see. Tracy says that landscape idea would be brilliant, as would the animal charity idea. Heck yes. Thank you, Tracy. Um, let's see what other questions. Tracy says, Happy, what goes into the skin tones you paint? Some of the colors are so rich and deep. Let's see. So it depends on the painting, but generally lately I found that using red and green in my skin tones for me has worked really well. Instead of using like browns and earthy tones. So I used to use like burnt sienna a lot when I did skin tones, but now I just mix various shades of red and green. For the reds, I like to rely on cadmium red medium, which is like a nice kind of very quintessential type of red. And I also like to use sap green and olive green. So sap green is more like the quintessential green for me, and olive green is like a warmer olive green. I know, haha, shocker. Um, yeah, when I mix red and green mixed together makes a really nice brown. And I find that I can make something cooler or warmer by tweaking the levels of red and the levels of green. So if I add more red, it becomes warmer and more of like a reddish brown. And then if I do green, it becomes cooler. So with that, I have enough variety to make the skin tones interesting. And with browns, I just couldn't find like, I don't know, I just couldn't get comfortable with browns. My subjects always ended up looking too tan, like they just came back from a vacation on the beach or came back from a tanning salon. So a good like intermediate sort of skin tony color or color range is made with reds and greens. Let's see. Next question. Oh, so Chanel says, what about a collab with James Jean? Oh my God, that would be a dream. Although I think it would give me so much anxiety and stress because I would be constantly trying to like prevent myself from saying or doing something embarrassing. Like if I ever met like James Jean in person, we did a collaboration, I just probably feel inadequate and feel like he's so much better than me and I just don't deserve this opportunity. Yeah, I could see myself doing that. But yeah, no, a collab with honestly like James Jean or any super famous artist would be just a huge honor. Let's see. Christine, sorry, asks, how do you figure out what you want to paint for future projects? So for me, I like to keep an idea journal. Whenever I think of something new or I feel inspired, I jot it down, and I either do a quick thumbnail sketch, or if I don't have access to like a physical sketchbook, like if I'm on the go, I just write it down. In my iPhone, I just use the Notes app on my iPhone. And then when it's time to do new projects, I just look through all of those things and see if I can pick up on any ideas that I jotted down that pique my interest. Yeah, lately I've just gotten into the habit of doing that instead of trying to come up with new ideas on the spot, because I rarely am able to rise to the occasion and think of an idea immediately on the spot. So relying on an inventory of old ideas really helps me. Let's see. Next question. Oh, sorry, May. I forgot your question too. What did you ask? I am so sorry. Here, let me scroll up to see May's question. Oh, how was your experience selling your very first print and your very first original painting? And is the life of an artist lonely? Wow. Really good question. My first time selling prints and originals were to friends and family. This was before I even quit my art job, or sorry, before my, this was before I quit my day job. I just decided to tinker with making prints and just trying it out. There was like a local print shop near where I lived. So I had a few prints made of this like hummingbird painting I did. And that painting I did as a present for my boyfriend's parents. So I didn't even sell that piece, but I made a few prints and I just posted on my like Facebook to all my friends, and a bunch of them were so nice and they bought prints to support me. And also, my first few originals, I think I sold one to a friend of a friend, and I had like one of my parents' friends commission me to paint something for her. So my early experiences were with like people that I knew that I think were, trying to be nice and trying to support me, which I thought was really, to this day, I'm so grateful for them. And it wasn't until a while that I actually began selling to strangers. So that was also really exciting, and it it was like a different type of validation because it was like, oh wow, you don't even know me and you're not just doing this to be nice, you're doing this because you actually really like this artwork. And that felt really, really fulfilling. Sorry, let me drink some water. And is the life of an artist lonely? You spend a lot of time alone, but you don't necessarily feel lonely. Like I spend most of my day by myself, but I never feel lonely because I still make time on the weekends and in the evenings to hang out with my boyfriend, with my friends, and talk to my family. So it's all about balance. I don't think spending 8 hours a day by yourself constitutes as lonely. But yeah, I think I would definitely feel lonely like if I had to spend every single day by myself for like a month, then I'd feel lonely. But I always make sure to have human interactions. And I also like to call my friends and family while I'm working. So sometimes my mom and I would just chat on the phone, and we won't even actually actively be talking. We would just kind of hang out on Skype or like on Google Hangouts for a few hours while I work. So I'm able to kind of have some sort of human company, also connect with my mom, and also get some work done at the same time. So that's how I'm able to combat the loneliness, I guess. Let's see. Uh, Viviana asks, could you maybe one day show us how you scan your smaller paintings for print? Yes, I could totally do that. Probably don't have time today, but I'll definitely note that for a future live stream. I think also moving on to future live streams, I'd like to show you guys more demos outside of just painting. I know like paintings are fun. I love doing them, but I think I could do some demos of like how I package prints or how I clean my brushes or clean my studio. Like these are all kind of art skills that are equally important, that I think could benefit from being demoed. Okay, it's 3:03. I'm just gonna keep the live stream going for another 10 minutes because I did have that microphone issue, and I started the live stream at 2:05 instead of 2 on the dot. So I'm gonna go until, yeah, for another 10 minutes. So I'm just gonna try to also finish the skin so it's not so patchy. Sometimes I get carried away with talking and I don't make as much progress on my piece. But thank you guys for bearing with me and for putting up with my technical issues and also sometimes me forgetting things. You guys are seriously the best. Like I feel so lucky. I have like the best patrons in the world, seriously. Sometimes I'm like, how do you guys put up with me for so long? But yeah, this piece is really interesting. I've never done skin tones with just like this yellow ochre and kind of toning it with like white, black, and grays. So it is a very interesting challenge, and I hope I'm not messing it up too bad. Oh my gosh, the construction outside is so annoying. Please stop. Okay. I hate the sound of construction, but I have to leave my windows open to ventilate my studio. So it's just like, which, choose your poison. Would you rather have a studio that is like stuffy and doesn't have ventilation for the health of everyone in your household, or would you rather have that loud outside noise? It's like, ah. Saruta says, could you do an MJ print painting, please? Oh, Michael Jackson. Yeah, I've actually always wanted to do it. I've done many Michael Jackson drawings in my life, but not paintings. And that's definitely very, very high on my to-do list. I need to do a Michael Jackson piece. I know it was his birthday yesterday because it was also my dad's birthday. Michael Jackson and my dad share the same birthday, which is really cool. But yeah, I might do something maybe for Halloween, like something thriller related, because he's such a important person during Halloween. But yeah. Oh my gosh, guys. I am running out of time. I don't know if I'll be able to perfect the skin, but I'm gonna try my best. Oh gosh, I'm really sorry. I want to at least fill the entire face with some sort of color that makes some sort of sense so that I can leave you guys with a relatively complete piece and not have it be friggin' scary, because right now it looks like half of her skin is peeling off. But yeah. Let's see. Oh, you guys are yeah, you guys say Halloween paintings would be fun. Yeah. I really want to do something for Halloween. I think Halloween's a great time to also experiment because people are more accepting towards like creepy, weird stuff. And so maybe during Halloween time, I'll just do some darker pieces and, see where that takes me. Because it would be cool to do some more like mature themes and, more like just eerie and scary stuff. I've always enjoyed those. Like, I love horror movies and do like a horror piece, but not too scary, not like gory, but something like artsy scary. Oh, Veronica says, by watching you, I've learned so much about skin tones and mixing. I am more bold now, and I have you to thank. Well, you are very welcome, Veronica, and I thank you for listening to my advice. It's always really rewarding to hear that people actually benefit from what I have to say, because I sometimes have a fear that I'm giving the wrong advice, or that I'm actually not helpful, or that I'm explaining things in a way that's too hard to understand. So when people tell me that I've actually helped them improve, that is really, really good to hear. And it really does make what I do feel so much more worthy and valuable, that I'm actually, making positive impact on people's lives. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, this is going to be a really rough piece to finish, but I'm just going to add a little highlight anyway. Highlight makes everything better. Maybe one here. Why not? Yeah, when in doubt, just add a highlight. It'll pop some life into the piece. Okay. Stephanie asks, do underpaintings have to completely cover a canvas? Usually they do, but honestly, when I do it, sometimes I don't even do it underpainting. I just dive straight into like layer one. And like I said, I think every person has their own unique process, which results in very unique and interesting variety of completed paintings. So yeah, I would never like try to discourage anyone from doing it their own way. So if you like to fill up your underpainting on a canvas and you think it makes sense, then go for it. But if you're kind of like me and you're impatient, you want to dive right into painting and you don't want to fill up a canvas all the way without sorry, how should I say it? Like, sometimes I'll work on one part of a painting, like, and almost get it to like a really complete level of rendering, and then another part will be like not even covered with paint. I cover it in the sense that like I'll do a rough sketch with like a gray or a light color, but yeah, there's no like, I don't do the thing where you cover everything in like one color, one monochromatic underpainting, and then glaze colors over it. I don't do it that style. I kind of just roughly sketch out the piece, and then I start rendering little details. Like for example, like I'm rendering the face, but the neck is not really covered. And I'm fine with that because like I know I'm gonna in this session, I'm going to probably like in the session, aka right now, probably going to cover it up soon. But yeah, I don't have like a mechanical way of being like, okay, I can't move on to step 2 unless I finish step 1. I think the fun and joy in painting for me is just kind of that improvisation of not knowing what's going to happen and not knowing how something's going to turn out. But yeah, that being said, you definitely do want to time your layers properly. So I found that when I have a lot of paintings and a lot of deadlines, I really do have to force myself to be more mechanical because, you know, if I want to work on painting number 2 while painting number 1 is drying, then I want to make sure I cover as much on painting number 1 so that, you know, when it's drying, the whole piece is drying, not just one fraction of the piece, if that makes any sense. But yeah, okay. This neck is really rough. I'm really sorry, but I'm just gonna end this painting now so you guys don't have to stay with me for too long. And I also want to make sure I have time for like a few final questions and to say goodbye to you guys. So going to wrap up this, just gonna tweak the lips a little bit and then wrap it up. There we go. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. She looks so rough, but I'm going to turn the camera back towards me. Gonna answer a few last questions and I gotta show you guys a close-up of the piece. So please pardon me. Oops. Oh, oh my goodness, this is this tripod is not cooperating. You know what? I'm just going to start answering your question as I fix my tripod. Macy Lou says, is there any rule on how thin the underpainting can be? My latest painting, I did it with really thin paint, and it made it so much easier, but I wonder if I did it right. Yeah, there's no rule on how thin the underpainting can be, but usually you want to keep it thin because then it dries quicker, and okay, it's working. Yeah, so usually you want to keep your underpainting thin because it dries faster, so you can do your layer 1 more quickly. And also, if you do like a fat over lean rule, keeping your first layer lean, aka like less paint, and then keeping your second layer fatter, so more paint or more medium, it helps the paint. The paint works together better in that way. Oh, Chanel says, am I going to finish this painting later? Yes, I definitely will. But I'm going to show you guys today's progress. I think, let me look, I think I worked on it for about like 30 minutes on and off. Ooh. Oh my gosh, my hand. Okay, so this is where we got to today, you guys. She looks, her nose is really messed up. I need to fix her nose and some of the shadows for sure. When I fix it, I might add some more like fun details, maybe like flowers or some other colors. But yeah, this is a quick, really crappy, really tiny painting. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah. Saruta says, can you start putting your live stream pieces online if you finish them, like the impromptu paintings? Yeah, usually in live streams, I either work on pieces that like I guess more complete pieces that are for galleries or for clients, or I do drawings, and I do tend to finish them, although they do take a while. I think this is the first kind of like impromptu one that I've done where it's not for an actual project. So yeah, definitely will continue to tweak it and improve it. But yeah, you guys, this was a really awesome live stream. I have to go feed my cats now, but you guys have been an amazing audience, and thank you for putting up with me and for bearing with all the technical issues. And if you ever have a question that I didn't get to, or you think of something, you know, always feel free to message me or leave a comment. Or, you know, I think at least once or twice a month, I ask people, I make a post that says, ask me your questions. And then I take those questions and I record my voiceovers with them for the $10 videos. And then I also use them for live streams. So you guys, I'm gonna head out, but thank you all so much. There's 29 of you watching right now, so it's a huge honor that so many of you are here with me. And I hope you guys, those of you in school, good luck with all your finals, your thesis, good luck with your classes. And yeah, hope to see you guys in September. Bye guys, love you all so much.